boundaries we have made for ourselves. Why are we so caught up in I and mine? How can we free ourselves from this egocentric behavior? Are we really just a nationality, race, and religion? Or are we one big family? We are experiencing a deterioration of values, an erosion of kindness. The colossal shift from peace to mass murders and killing is horrendous. Hate crimes have taken over the love that we once experienced for all humanity. Rage, jealousy, envy, selfishness, immoral behavior, cheating, gambling is on the rise. Look how our Mother Earth is suffering. And shedding tears on account of our behavior. Is the notion of a golden era just a notion, or is it reality? Where love, peace, and harmony is the way of life. Just imagine what it would be like to live in a world where there is complete, unconditional happiness. nature is replete with its lush beauty. Everyone is full of divine virtues. Contentment, joy, and bliss are our best friends. There is love always in the heart. And the riches are unmatched. How can I help during this time of world transition? How can I bring peace and harmony that all of us long for? It all starts with me. To bring about a change in the world, I have to be the change that I desire to see. Let me change the quality of my thoughts, have a better attitude towards everyone else. Let me speak kind words to others and perform benevolent actions. I can extend a friendly hand to someone who may be hostile to me, a kind word to someone who is rude to me, help someone who has hurt me, donate smiles and happiness. Just imagine the impact this will have on the world. My peace,
isn't it? So
and happiness will radiate all around me.
Is going to help us to discover that. And his name is Ken O'Donnell. And he's currently the director of South America of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. He's also the author of 15 books on personal and organizational development, some of which are published in 9 languages. He himself can speak 3 languages fluently. He is a dynamic, stimulating speaker and widely experienced consultant. His strength is in questioning common assumptions, and not only in the business world, but also for personal development, especially in complex situations. So he is very experienced. He approaches common challenges from a more human perspective. So please welcome Ken O'Donnell.
Om Shanti, everyone. What a great pleasure it is to be here. I was just watching the presentation now, and my mind went back to a situation that was very, it was very challenging for me. And the only thing that I could count on was my own inner experience. And so I was in a train in London, and the announcement came over the loudspeaker system as it came into Baker Street station. It was a time when the Irish Republican Army were blowing up buildings and train stations and so on in London. And so the announcement came over the loudspeaker. We have received news that there's a bomb in the station. Please, can everyone leave the train? And please do it calmly. So you can imagine, people were rushing out and jumping over each other. And I just, my inner feeling was, be still, be calm. Doesn't matter. If the bomb will explode, nothing I can do about it. If it doesn't explode, that's great. So I decided not to go in the rush. And in fact, obviously the bomb didn't go off, it was a false alarm. But there have been many situations in my life where I've been presented with a very strange and challenging situation, and the only thing that I could count on was my own inner peace. So I wanted to, can we put the presentation up? Yeah. When we look at ourselves as bodies, there are problems, right? That this thing that covers us doesn't last. We were born at a certain point, some later point we will die. But there's an energy, you know, it's not just that, you know, if we go to a living person, the difference is this one, the living being, the soul. And if I want to become calm or still, it doesn't matter what's going on, I have to go into myself and feel my inner qualities. You know, all of us would like a beautiful world, as the last presentation showed us, right? But how many of us would like to change, right? We would like to be different, we would like a better world, but how much change can we bring about in ourselves? So the very first thing that I need to know is who I am. Give you. I am the one that's making this body move. Why did you make peace with the Palestinians? And he said, what is peace if not something that you do with your enemies? Because we don't practice peace with our friends. Spirituality, in fact, is when we're challenged by some adverse circumstance or by some difficult person, you know, that comes up in front of us, and we can't see beyond our own sort of ego world. So in that little internal ego world, we are confused because we don't know the things that are happening around, you know. And if you look at, you know, this sort of the mess, maybe, that was described by the previous presenter very beautifully, and we depicted the mess in the world like this, just sort of everything happening at the same time, going all over the place. If you just look at your movements over the last week or 2 weeks, everything going everywhere, right? But this is also maybe our minds. We can have, if we have 1,000 waking minutes in a day, we can have up to 100,000 things happening in our minds every day. So this is also a picture of our minds sometimes. And we're trying to get that better world. We're trying to become agents of change. We're trying to become peaceful. We're trying to become happy and free, maybe. But we really don't know how to do it. So I have to, in some way, I know that that's going on. I know that the world is pretty much crazy. Just look at the traffic, or look at the financial markets, or look at the weather patterns, or look at so many things that make up our normal everyday life, and things are going around like that. So I have to, you know, somehow get a space inside myself where I can be truly what I am. I am the soul. I have a body. I use the body. And I mean, that very phrase has helped me so many times in my life, so many times, that, you know, if I observe the world around me, but I'm able to detach back, let it carry on, if I'm able to become just maybe, if I have 1 second maybe between my inner state and what's happening around me. In that 1 second, I can adjust myself. But if my consciousness is so stuck on the things that are going on, then naturally I'll be going around with them. Something bad happens, I feel bad. Something good happens, yeah, I feel great. Someone insults me, I feel bad. Someone praises me, I feel great. So up and down and up and down and around and around. But if I can come back to my inner state, as shown in this diagram, you know, I'm there in the middle of my life. There's my family, my work, maybe friends, the community is there, nature also, and I am with myself as well through all of this. Now, if I jump around those things in a confused way, family, work, family, work, family, work, visit some friends, go to the doctor, family, work, visit some friends, go to the doctor, you know, and I'm having at the same time 100,000 things going on in my mind every day. At the end of every day, I'll feel pretty exhausted. But if I'm able to go into the center of my life and from there operate, now I'm with my friends. I come from that inner state. I'm with, you know, with my family or at work. I come in, go out. Come in, go out. So all of the craziness may be happening around me, but I'm in the center of my life, and I know that I am that peaceful soul, independent of whatever is going on. So if I just watch what people do and what I do, it's all over the place. If I'm very stuck with feelings, for example, up and down, around and around, up and down. But if there are things that are true and do not change with the circumstances, there are things about me which are true and do not change, no matter what goes on. I have to hold on to those things. And one of the biggest and deepest realities is that we are not alone. Okay, as individuals, we may be divided, we may be just walking around and locked in our own heads, trying to understand the world around us, trying to understand other people. Maybe we're not so successful. Sometimes we may be. But I need some constant factors and stable factors that do not change, that I can hold on to, that I can grab onto, and remain stable and calm no matter what happens. I'm a bit reluctant to talk about this topic because I had a topic in Santiago, Chile, several years ago. I had to speak on remaining calm in the chaos. And in the middle of the talk, there was an earthquake. Some people even thought maybe I arranged it so that I could talk about it in the lecture. No way. But it was very interesting because most of the people got out in panic and ran out of the room. And a few people stayed seated. So my inner process was like this. Because I practice these things a lot, I connected with myself, but I also connected with God. He's the most stable power in the universe, and I connected up, and my attention went to the people who didn't run, who didn't go into panic, because I was curious. How come they're sitting? How come all the other people ran out and these people are sitting? It wasn't a tremor, it was an earthquake, about 2 minutes of shaking. And I saw that on their faces they were quite relaxed. And then I asked them, how come you're like that? They said, we're in a wooden building. I didn't know this. But apparently wooden buildings and earthquake, they're flexible. If it's a brick building, it will fall down, but if it's a wooden one, it just sort of shakes a little bit. Ah, that's good. So what do? They said, let's meditate. So always you can go back a little bit from what's going on, go into your deeper self, and after the next presentation, I will also conduct a meditation. But basically, you know, there is an energy that we call the Supreme. The one that throughout the world is remembered as God or Allah or so many names. The one Paramatma you'd call in India maybe. Behind all of this drama of life, a source of love and peace and happiness, a source of spiritual power and also truth, purity. So what do I do to become calm? I remember who I am, I remember my inner state, and I connect up with the powerhouse. That keeps me still and stable. You know, it's not just a source of, it's not a connection just to get qualities, but it's also a source of affection, because there is bhavna, right? When we're connected up with these deeper things, there's that loving feeling. And the way to keep a loving feeling is to remember that that one is the Father, the teacher, the guide, and so on. Friend, beloved mother. So these are the sorts of things I cultivate, not just a connection that I can get these qualities, but something that can help me to revitalize myself as a person. So if I had a perfect father, how would he treat me? If I had a perfect mother, how would she treat me? If I had a perfect friend, how would it be? So God can be that one to hold us internally, no matter what is going on, even if it's a bomb, even if it's an earthquake. So after some time we will have an experience. So think about it, feel it, and then we'll come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Well, something to think about. Has anyone, I'd like to know actually, how many of you are coming to a Brahma Kumari event for the first time? Please raise your hands. Could I have the house lights up? Thank you. Could you do that again for me, now that I can see? Okay, welcome. Welcome. Of those of you who have raised your hand, would any of you like to share an experience, maybe perhaps a new thought about yourself, about the world, maybe some new insights on how I can quiet my mind? Did any of you have that? Anyone? Maybe raise your hand. Yes? I can run out here to you. Could you stand up? Oh, thank you. Thank you. This way we become like a family here, and we're going to share our experience. What is your name?
My name is Pritika.
Pritika.
Yeah.
What's your experience?
Okay, my experience is that I've been watching the Brahma Kumaris show on TV, and quite regularly it's on the Peace of Mind channel, and I also watch it on YouTube. So one of the favorite series, in fact all are good, is Soul Reflections. Now that is by Shivani Ben, and I really admire her. And the experience that she shared, or the thing that she told us, was whenever you want to actualize something in your life, you have the power within. So she told us to, select a personal mantra for yourself. okay? And that is, I am a powerful soul, मैं शक्तिशाली आत्मा हूँ, whatever I want, I can achieve. And then you see it visualizing for yourself. So whatever is your deepest desire, you should behave as though it has already come into your life. And that should be especially in the morning. Yes. And then at night when you're going to sleep, those are the most powerful times when your subconscious...
Have you done this?
Yeah,
you do?
Doing it. Yes. And whenever you get 5 minutes throughout the day. So that is when, that's the experience of Sister Shivani that, you know, I...
Okay, so for tonight, what experience did you have from what we shared today?
So, what you shared today, I can't say, but when I got to know about this program, every day I told myself, it's going to be a wonderful program and I'm going to benefit a lot from this conference. And it's the same feeling that I had. And like it was shared before this, whenever something happens, I immediately tell myself, I'm a powerful soul and I'm in control, and it happens. That's what was suggested.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, yes, sir. You're welcome. Anybody else who's new, who's never come to, oh yeah, I guess you haven't. You've come all the way from Nigeria, and it's his first time at a Brahma Kumari event. And your name?
My name is Anthony.
And what was your experience just now?
Good. Just now or before now?
No, just now.
Okay. The issue of spirit, soul, body, and the mind was confusing from my background. But here, I come to understand that I'm a soul. Okay. I occupy the center of my forehead. Then I have a connection with the Supreme Soul. So it's self-realization. I now know who I am. Okay. Yes. And then to solve situations or problems in the world, I will first of all go in.
Go in?
Look at the situation first of all, okay. On the physical, then go in, then come out.
Okay. So go in and come out. And how do you come out? Once you realize who you are, then how do you come out? Calm? Cool? And this is your first time also? Thank you so much. Yes, let's give him a hand. And your name, sir?
Bansi Dhameja. I'm Bansi Dhameja, and what I have learned right now, that we can be peaceful even in difficult situations. That depends upon our mind, not the circumstances.
Thank you. And I can tell you're a man of experience as well. Thank you so much, everyone. That just helps. Yes, sir, all right. Yes, what's your experience from today?
Yeah, it's wonderful. I find it very peaceful.
Please stand, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, stand.
I find it very peaceful.
And your name, sir?
I'm R.K. Atri.
All right. Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, and so now that we've sort of crossed the barrier from stage to audience, I would like to ask some of you, some dignitaries, some special people in the audience to stand, and we have a lovely offering of flowers for you. And first, our brother Vinay Hedge, the artist. Please stand, and we will, so we have Sister Moira from Argentina to present our brother Vinay. May I call you our brother? Hedge, artist. And Dr. Viola Nicholas Okpara, senior research scientist from the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Nigeria. And Sister La from Thailand will be presenting. And Mr. Satish, yes, thank you. Mr. Satish Kumar, former director of Delhi Metro Railway Corporation. Mr. Kumar, please stand. Oh, there you are. Thank you. Mrs. Yes. Mrs. Pramila Tokas, member of Delhi Legislative Assembly. Yes, thank you so much for being with us. Mr. Manoj Kumar Patairia, Director, National Institute of Science, Communication, and Information Resources in Delhi. So Dr. Manoj Kumar Patairia. Thank you. And lastly, Mr. R.K. Atri, founder and architect, Jaivik Bharat Movement in Delhi. Please stand. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, thank you. And Sister Law from Thailand to present to you. Thank you so much. And so now we have a lovely treat for you. We have two lovely dancers who will present a candle dance. And imagine these candles as that spiritual flame within the self that makes this body move. Please, I welcome you. Please welcome them. And both of these young women are dedicated. I need a little light, please. They are dedicated BKs. BK Vidhatri. She's been a BK Rajyogi for 10 years and has dedicated her life in service with the Brahma Kumaris at our retreat center, Om Shanti Retreat Center in Gurugram. She has a degree in electronics and communication engineering. Now, BK Varnika, she is also a Rajyogi for 10 years, and she works as a mechanical engineer, working as an assistant manager with the Indian Oil Corporation. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
रोशनी का कोई दरिया तो है, हाँ कहीं पे जरूर। रोशनी का कोई दरिया तो है, हाँ कहीं पे जरूर। रोशनी का कोई दरिया तो है, हाँ कहीं पे जरूर। मुझको सही रसता कोई तो है जो करता है मुश्किल हमारी दूर कोई तो है जो करता है मुश्किल हमारी हर तरफ हर जगह हर कहीं पे है हाँ उसी का नूर रोशनी का कोई दरिया तो है हाँ कहीं पे जरूर
Thank you so much. Wasn't that lovely? Yes, thank you. So thanks to BK Vidhatri and BK Vanika. And now we have a special treat for you in the way of meeting some of these foreigners that are in the audience. And I'd like to welcome Neville Hodgkinson onto the stage. And he's going to be our interviewer. And we have two interviewees. We have Sister Morni Chen from Asia and Sister Miriam from Kuwait. Yes, please welcome them. And I just want to say a little bit about Neville, and then Neville, you'll introduce our guests. I'll step over here so I'm not in the way. So Neville Hodgkinson is a writer and journalist based in Oxford, England. His full-time positions have included social policy correspondent of the Times, medical and science correspondent of the Daily Mail, health editor of the Sunday Express, and medical and science correspondent of the Sunday Times. Well, he's quite an accomplished writer, but I would say that of knowing Neville, he is clear, precise, and has a great sense of curiosity to explore and learn. Please welcome Neville and our guests.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, and to all of you here. This item is in keeping with the rest of the program of giving like a variety show in a way, so many different beautiful components. And in the three programs actually that we have of this conference today and tomorrow, there's an opportunity to meet some of the people who have transformed their lives through a change of vision about themselves, and they come from all the continents, from so many countries and so many different backgrounds. And the two guests that we have here now for you to meet are a very good example of that actually, because they couldn't have had more different backgrounds in many respects. On my immediate left is Maureen Chen, and she has a 40-year association with the Brahma Kumaris. And Mariam, here, thank you. And Mariam, on my far left here, just 3 years of leading a life in which she is really understanding the value of a spiritual focus within that. So huge difference in their experience, and yet I think you'll probably be able to pick up some commonalities in the way they've found value from these understandings for their practical lives. So I'm going to begin by asking Maureen a little bit about her own background, because it's pretty remarkable in many senses. She grew up in Australia, and she was telling me that in her teenage years, she was really what might be called in California a beach girl. She loved the sun and the sea and the sand, and she was spending a lot of time on the beach, and her friendships revolved around that. In fact, Maureen, you said that you were called a surfie in Australia. What was the surfie exactly?
Well, I guess it's you know, on weekends, that's how we would spend our time, and really nature lover, really,
A nature
more
lover.
than
But
anything.
did you actually surf the waves and that sort of thing too?
Yeah, a bit.
That too, okay. But Maureen has taught meditation and spiritual understanding, and also launched major social welfare programs in Hong Kong, Cambodia, India, and Australia. And I believe you're about to shift to Taiwan.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
So, you know, it's pretty amazing that your own life has held so much variety. And I wanted to know that if there is, would you say that something had taken you from that life as a surfie to something that was so much wider? What was it? What was missing? Because that life actually, for many, certainly when I was younger, I would have thought, wow, that must be like heaven to be living a life in Australia, so many good resources and the beautiful beaches and sunshine and all the rest of it. So what led you to change?
I think it's mainly because even though I was happy and I really had everything, I would say, but I was always aware of the suffering in the world since I was a small girl, really. So I used to get involved in things. I mean, I was young, so I didn't earn much money, but I used to support children through World Vision. And I used to think, you know, there's so much need in the world, and I'm so small, I have so little. Where should I focus? Because I don't know which is more important. I was involved in saving the whales, saving the trees, anti-nuclear, all the things that you get involved with when you're young.
It wasn't really a self-indulgent life then. It was you were a child of nature and you wanted to serve nature and people.
Yeah, I wanted to really serve the world. And then when I came across the Brahma Kumaris, I understood that everything starts with the mind. And so if I focus on helping people to kind of really think higher, then all of these problems can be addressed. So rather than giving a little bit of money here, a little bit of help here, a little bit of a protest there or whatever, if I really dedicated my life to an understanding and an improvement of my own mind, but also helping others, that was what I felt was the most effective use of my life.
What was it then in meeting these BKs? What was it that, was it an experience or was it just a cognitive shift? Was there a taste of stillness in some way that you felt was very nourishing?
Actually, I avoided them for a while. I'd heard about them, but I didn't believe anything I had heard about God. Maybe you'd call it an atheist, but I guess so. I didn't believe in God. I thought God's for weak people. It's just a crutch. I don't need it. I can change myself. But when I did the second lesson of the meditation course, I really had an experience, and I felt that there was some power, love, bliss. You know, there was this experience, and I thought, there is someone there. There is someone, because I've never had this experience before. And what that led on to is I did want to change myself. I mean, I had things in my character that I wasn't so impressed with, and I wanted to change, but I wasn't changing even though I was practicing meditation in a Buddhist way. I wasn't able to change, but once I started this, that change came.
Could you give us an example of one of the things that you wanted to change?
I think one of the things was being influenced by other people. You know, if somebody was in a bad mood or negative, I found it hard not to be influenced by that atmosphere and think about it and, you know, go beyond it. And I found that when I have this relationship, then it really helps me to go beyond the influence of others. So making that influence stronger than other influences.
I wonder if I could ask you in a few seconds, perhaps to give us a taste of that.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
how do you connect in that way?
Yeah, and that's the word I like very much, connect. Because it's not about praying, which is often asking for something, but realizing that everything I need is within myself. I am a being of peace. I am a being of love. And when I can detach from all that's physical, including my body, and take my thoughts beyond this world to a world of light, a world of silence, just light, and silence. Then I can experience the presence of the Supreme.
So some 40 years back, was it, that you first had this taste of stillness, and it was enough for your life trajectory to change in
Absolutely.
a major way. Thank you very much, Maureen. Let's turn to Mariam, who I had met a few years ago, but you were quite a lot younger at that time. You're still very young. Must be an age gap between us of more than half a century, I think. It's a great pleasure to be interviewing you today. I know that your mother had started on a journey of spiritual empowerment some 11 years back. Mona, Mariam's mother, had visited the retreat centre where I live in Oxford a few years back, and she's also from Kuwait. But in your teenage years, you were quite a rebel, right? Is that right?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And
No,
then you were doing a business degree in Gold Coast, Australia, and that was 3 years back when something happened that gave you a different vision of your potential. What was that? Tell us about the rebel stage and how that changed.
Yeah, so my mom's taken the knowledge a really long time ago, so I was grown up with it. But when you hear it from your mom, it kind of goes in ear and out the other. But I always respected it, and I knew there was something deeper in it. So when I was in Australia, I had to go through a bit of difficulties myself to realize that there is benefit in meditation. Because I was a people pleaser a bit, and I always put other people ahead of myself. So coming into the knowledge and experiencing myself and the stability and the power I have within gave me that power to put my foot down, to say no. So also connecting with that supreme, ultimate source of power. After I took the first step, I realized how amazing it was, and there is like real truth and power in it. So once I started, I couldn't stop.
So when you mentioned that this happened when you were at Gold Coast, right? And was it something to do with being away from home, being away from the stability of home, a whole different set of relationships, and somehow you were feeling that it was quite hard to handle some of those issues?
Yeah, when you're on your own, you have the responsibility, like your own responsibility. And I think growing up, I was around good company as well. So I think the company that you surround yourself with plays a big factor in your state of mind. So yeah, also the stresses of university and all these things kind of led to me feeling very low in my self-respect. And
that was having an impact on your grades, I gather. You know, the work wasn't going so well for a while.
Yeah.
And then when you sort of took this lead to connect with this place of stillness within, you got the best grades ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I started out like just caring about passing. Like, yeah, I'll pass, like I'm barely passing. But then after meditating and connecting, I took more breaks within the time I was studying because my thoughts were on overdrive in the beginning. I could barely meditate for more than 30 seconds. So it was like a constant traffic in my head. So we have this thing called traffic control where you stop every hour for 30 seconds and kind of bring yourself back and connect, recharge with the Supreme. So after doing that for a while, I had like that thought of there's a benefit in everything. And even if I fail, I'll fail. But during that time where I did that, I had the best grades I've ever gotten in my life. So
it's good.
It was like
I'm sure
stress-free.
that parents here will be very happy to hear that. And maybe just in a few seconds, could you give a taste of how you would talk to yourself in that traffic control that helped you so much?
Yeah. So I focus my attention to the mind, to the soul, the being of light within. And as thoughts come, I simply watch them like clouds just passing. And I choose a virtue to redirect my thoughts. Love, peace, strength. And whatever wasteful thoughts come, I simply put them in a box, tie it up like a gift, and simply give it away. Connecting to the ultimate source, I fill myself with light and love and peace. As all the power comes from within. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Morni, as you're known by your friends, instead of Maureen. I'm not quite sure why, even though I've known you for so many years. But Morni, your trajectory changed in the way you've described. You found that this connection gave you power, and it gave you power to do what you wanted to do with your life. So what did you want to do with your life, actually? And was there something about the kind of actions that you found yourself doing subsequently which also helped to give that sense of inner stability?
I think I realized that the main key to happiness, at least for me, is using everything in a worthwhile way. So I have tried to, everything I do in life, I just try to think, what is the best use of my time, of my energy, of any resources, any connection also that I have? And that has really been the key to a life of fulfillment, because when I'm able to use things in a worthwhile way, not only am I happy, but I think it generates a lot of connection where, like, you know, you were saying, I got involved in so many social enterprises, and it was more being the seed and connecting people and letting that happen. So that has really been the thing. And now I'm over 60, and yet I said to our regional coordinator, I'm still young and active. Let me go and do something, which is why I'm going off to Taiwan. So as long as I've got anything to use, let me use it.
That's brilliant. You remind me, actually, when you say you use everything in a worthwhile way, there's a lovely saying I came across a while back, that the happiest people are not those who have the most, but those who make the most of what they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is great, isn't it?
Mhm.
And do you find that, you know, you've stayed with this journey of practicing this Raja Yoga meditation and serving in a big variety of ways in the world, but also consistently as a teacher of Raja Yoga. This kind of continuous trajectory, has that helped your self-respect to grow, would you say? Is it something to do with that, that sometimes if we feel that life's passing us by and we're not using it so well, then peacelessness comes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't always been easy. There have been challenges. But interesting that you mentioned self-respect, because I think any challenge I have had or I still have, it's because of some self-doubt, some lack of self-respect. And so that really has been the focus. And I think it's the most important thing for us to really know who we are, be who we are, and maintain that respect for the self.
Mariam, you touched on an aspect of being coloured by company, and you felt that you were distressed when the company you were keeping was sort of imposing itself on you. But from the way I've understood it, you started to learn the skill of being accompanied by the company of the divine, by something internal and almost intangible, and yet very tangible in the effects on you as a human being.
Yeah.
So can you just say a bit more word about that?
Sure. Yeah, because in the world, like, we're so used to seeing the body rather than the soul. So what really touched my heart when I started meditating and connecting with the highest divine love is that he sees me as I truly am. Just a soul, the pure being of love. So just that thought and connecting in the same frequency, soul to soul, just made me fly.
And this kind of strength must also have played a part, I think, in your decision to return from Australia, despite all its delights. You know, Australia is an amazingly wealthy and beautiful country in so many ways, but you decided to return to the Middle East, and I believe you started up a cafe there, which is great, in Kuwait.
Yeah, so, a year before I left, and like knowing the benefits of this knowledge and how loving the self can allow you to love so much more, I felt like I had such a pull to go back, since I'm from Kuwait and I speak Arabic and I'm in a young body, so I wanted to be able to really connect in that way and bring Australia back to Kuwait. And just bring the lightness, bring the love. And so I started taking classes around entrepreneurship and starting a new business. So so it's called Be, from being.
Be.
Yeah, because we're always doing, so it's like, just be. So it's a really like relaxed cafe, and there's different rooms, a retail room as well, and everyone there is like a family, and we cook in consciousness. So yeah, it's like a mixture of art, music,
dance.
Yeah,
dance too.
There's like a hatha yoga and dance room, but it's like a mixture of a lot of things that are attracting like amazing souls to.
Can you clone yourself and open a branch in Oxford, where I live?
If
we
you
could
manage
do with
it.
one. Be great.
I'm barely managing one.
So our time is just about up, but thanks to these wonderful two individuals, and do come in the next sessions because more of these amazing people to meet. And now, a little treat to hear a little bit more about how Mariam works. She's going to give us a dance movement, but a stretch movement. Okay, thank you very much.
So everyone can stand. This is our stretch movement break. Yes, you can join us. It'll be good. And this is called Yoga in Motion, a meditative movement. And Miriam is going to guide us. Okay. Because we better get going. We have to get going. Try to test. Put it in your pocket. Yeah, there. Try it again.
Okay. So, yeah, before we start, I'd just like you to take one word or a point, anything that touched your heart from the session we just had. Because in Raja Yoga meditation, we try to be in that meditative state throughout the whole day while we're walking, eating, dancing. So, yeah, we're just going to do a few minutes of gentle stretching and a little bit of introversion. So breathe in, breathe out. And I focus my awareness to the soul, the being that moves this body. And I see it as a costume or a puppet. And I look through the eyes like I'm seeing through a window. So as I flow, I hold that stillness within. Soul to soul, light to light, I connect to the source of light. Connect to the source of stillness and stability. And I'm colored by his company. Breathe in, breathe out. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Miriam. So now we can settle in. And I'm very happy to introduce to you a world-renowned spiritual teacher who has transformed millions of lives through her inspiring, life-changing talks. She's been on screen in India, USA, UK, Asia Pacific, Africa, and Australia, and is well known on the TV program Awakening with the Brahma Kumaris. So you know whom I'm talking of. And if you could indulge me for a moment, because I had the pleasure and fortune to travel with Sister Shivani. She travels all over the world. She's traveled in India, UK, Asia Pacific, Africa, Middle East. And last year, she made her first tour in North America on the East Coast. And I was invited to, participate on that tour. And I can't tell you what an experience that was. It was amazing. But one thing I did want to convey, and I had on the tour, was something a bit personal. And I must say, I was really touched by how authentic and down-to-earth she is. She takes the time to reach out and to really get to know you. Thank you. Sister Shivani. Thank you. See, she helps me. Brother Ken is going to join us. We're going to take a nice journey with steps. So Brother Ken O'Donnell. And have a lovely meditation together, and then we'll hear from Sister Shivani. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Sister Shivani kindly requested if she could sit here in meditation while I conduct the steps, and she'll be helping on a subtle level, and then she'll take up from there. But I want to go through some basic, simple steps for everyone here to be able to make their mind still and stable. The first step, I want everyone to sit nobly on your seats, not slouching, not too rigid. And just become aware of the moment. You'll be able to hear sounds, hear my voice, music. You'll be able to feel the temperature and your own breathing as it comes in and goes out slowly. In the same way you're sitting on your seat, just imagine a subtle seat behind your eyes, behind the middle of the forehead. That's where you, the soul, the conscious energy, is sitting. Feel that. Just sit there mentally. tiny point of conscious energy. Seated in the middle of the forehead. You can open your eyes. Don't need to meditate with eyes closed. If you feel comfortable, you can look towards the middle of the forehead of Sister Shivani. And remember that you are the soul looking through your eyes, and not seeing the body in front of you, but seeing this diamond-like conscious energy sparkling in the middle of the forehead. This is the first step. Center yourself. Go to your inner seat. And remember that you are the soul. There's a world of things happening around you, but you are still seated on your spiritual seat. Second step. Just follow these thoughts. I'm the soul, the spiritual being, giving life to my body and the activities that I perform through it. In this state of rest, I remember that my deep spiritual nature is peace. I feel peace. Feel love. Content. Pure. Truth. So in this second step, I remember my spiritual nature, my original nature. Just remain in this feeling for some moments in silence. Third step. On the screen of the mind, I remember a dimension of light beyond the physical world. Place we call Paramdam, or heaven, or nirvana. But really, my home. It was where I was before I came to this physical dimension. It's a place I try to reach when I pray or meditate. So I see myself there. I see myself in that spiritual home, free, light, powerful, peaceful. No connection with anyone else. My original state. The biggest stabilizing factor that I have within me. These deep sanskars. Next step. In my home, I feel very attracted or pulled by the one, a sort of spiritual sun, a source, the one who we remember as God in different traditions, just shining in front of me. Yes, this one is the ocean of all of these qualities, unlimited. And I'm just, my mind is in front of that one. Absorbing peace, love, happiness, bliss, purity, truth, and spiritual power. So in silence, I just feel the current coming from that Supreme One into me and through me into the world. So just revising the steps. Step 1, center yourself. Become conscious that you are the spiritual being in the center of the forehead. Second step, remember your true spiritual nature. Third step, remember your experience in the home, the spiritual home, the world of light. Fourth step, remember your connection with the Supreme and put yourself in front of that one and absorb those qualities. If you do that, definitely you will feel very stable and peaceful and light and content. So let's come back now to the present. Here, this moment, and I'll pass the mic to our dear sister, Shivani.
Om Shanti. If you can feel the energy of this hall right now, we all have the fortune to be sitting together in a very high vibration energy. And each one of us has contributed towards creating this, and each one of us is absorbing it and benefiting from it. This is exactly how the world will get changed. This is how the world will get changed, when each one of us will contribute a high vibration to the world, and then we will absorb that high vibration of the collective consciousness of the world. As is the energy of the room, so can be the energy of this world. How many of us contributed towards creating this high vibration? How many feel I contributed? Yes. And how many of us contribute towards creating that ordinary stress, anger at home and work? So we contribute, we create, we contribute, we radiate, then we absorb, we become. So is it possible to create this kind of an environment at home tomorrow, Sunday? Is it possible to create this kind of an environment at home, Sunday? Yes? Where we may not be sitting like this in meditation, we would be working, taking care of family, but the mind would be stable. Can we do that? We can do that. And that's why I really loved the topic for today. Stable mind in a changing world. Can my mind be stable always? In a world where my mind gets disturbed only if some traffic is moving a little slower than what I want it to move. In a world where my internet is a little slower than what I want it to be, and I get disturbed. In a world where someone's phone is not reachable and I get disturbed. In a world where somebody doesn't like my Facebook post and I get disturbed. And here we are saying, stable mind always. How many of you get disturbed a little when you're in traffic? By the way people drive, by the way people honk unnecessarily, by the way people with so much dignity cross the red signal as if they're doing the absolute right thing on the road. Do we get disturbed? Yes? And here we're talking, if anyone does anything to me and I remain stable. Do you feel it's possible to be stable always? Is it possible to be stable always? Is it possible to be stable always? Hanji? How many feel it's possible to be stable always? Always. Light on karte tabhi dikhenge. Stable always. Huh? Now raise your hands. They'll switch on the light. We have to see all of you. And now, which means irrespective of how people behave with me, irrespective of what the situation may be, irrespective of how my body is feeling, my mind is stable. And stable means it's creating the right thought in response to whatever the situation may be. How many of us have ever created the line which said, they hurt me? Ever created this thought? They hurt me? They insulted me. They disrespected me. They upset me. They irritated me. And every time when we said this line, or we created this thought, we were reaffirming our old but incorrect belief system that they are the cause of what I'm feeling inside. And that they could be my family, could be people at work, could be strangers on the road, or could be strangers across the TV screen. They are responsible for how I'm feeling inside. And once my mind starts living that kind of a life, I stop choosing the ability to create a different kind of a thought in response to the situation, and my vocabulary becomes, he behaved like that, obviously I'll get angry. They spoke like this, obviously I'll get upset, which means I have lost the ability to choose a different response, and I say, hurt and anger and fear and irritation is obvious depending on the stimulus, the situation. And the most beautiful thing and the most powerful point of knowledge, which is the first step of Raj Yoga, I, the being, the creator of every thought, feeling, word, I am the creator. Whatever is getting created here inside is my choice, absolutely independent of people's behavior and situation. In a world where people are asking for independence and freedom, Raj Yoga gives me emotional independence. My emotions are independent of anything outside. And which means situation and people can choose to be what they want to be, and I have the freedom to choose to be what I want to be. I am not dependent on the weather, on the traffic, on my children, on people at work. I'm not dependent. I choose. And when I start choosing, what would each one of us like to choose then? If we have the choice, what would we like to choose? What would we choose every time? Would we choose stress? Would we choose anxiety? Would we choose fear? Not at all. We would choose peace. We would choose love. We would choose acceptance. And all these words mean we choose stability, where I don't allow my mind to go up and down, disturbed, and it's stable. Just one very old belief system which we need to disconnect today is situation. Acha, let's do a small experiment. Bring out your left hand, all of you, and place on it any situation of your life. Any situation which you would call a little problem. Anything. And now you bring your right hand forward and place on it your state of mind. No, left hand is situation. On your right hand, you place your state of mind. This is the situation. This is my state of mind. This is a traffic jam. This is my state of mind. Phone not working. This is my state of mind. Abusive spouse. This is my state of mind. Friend who cheated on me. State of mind. Body unwell. State of mind. Weather not good. State of mind. So problem, situation, issue of life on the left hand, state of mind on the right hand. And just look at both your hands and ask yourself a simple question. Is there a connection between the two? Situation and state of mind. Is there a connection between the two? Is there a connection between the two? Yes? Yes? Hanji? Is there a connection between the left and the right hand? What's the connection? Situation, state of mind. Is there a connection? Hanji? This is one equation which we have to use in every scene of life. Situation, state of mind. Is there a connection? Hanji? Okay, let's take an opinion poll. Situation and state of mind, connection, yes. Situation and state of mind connection, no. Anybody who didn't put up their hand in either of them? Yes. Okay. Old belief system, state of mind is dependent on the situation. Raj Yoga changed my belief system and said, situation is dependent on the state of mind. So situation doesn't influence my mind can influence the situation. Isn't that power? Isn't that power? And so we shift from being a victim, okay, obviously I'll get hurt, obviously I'll get upset, obviously I'll get stressed. Yesterday I met somebody, a leader of a corporate house, Ken Bhai, and he said, "Sister, tomorrow we are about to start the most stressful month of the year." So this is a belief system that the month of March means it's the most stressful month of the year. So what are we trying to say? Situation, state of mind. Today we take back only one powerful belief system for us. Situation cannot affect my state of mind. I am emotionally independent. Physically independent, financially independent, socially independent, but most important, I am emotionally independent. I choose how to respond irrespective of their behavior. Is it possible to create pure, loveful thoughts for someone who has lied to you, cheated you, or betrayed you? Can we create pure, loveful thoughts full of blessings for them? Can we create? Can we create? Yes? Not just sitting here, and not just on the 3rd and 4th of March, but every day. And when we start doing that, we start influencing people and situations rather than getting influenced by their behavior. And when we start doing that, we are shifting the vibration of the world from a low frequency of stress, fear, anxiety to a very high frequency of contentment, compassion, care, acceptance, love, and respect. Words which we want to experience, but words which we are looking for from others. But today, when we start choosing our thoughts and feelings, then we will be creating it and giving it to everyone, irrespective of what they have done to us. And which means the end of conflict, the end of pain and hurt, the end of holding on to the past, and definitely the end to any resentment that we may be carrying. And the mind will become clean. Forgiveness would not be something that we have to do, it would become a natural way of living. And to forget what has happened would be the easiest thing to do, because they do not influence us, we choose what to create. So let's do a homework for the next 24 hours, and we're going to be experiencing more of this tomorrow. Next 24 hours, irrespective of anything that happens, anything, absolutely anything outside, I remain stable. Nothing affects me. I influence. And I find that my vibrations start shifting the vibration of the situation and other people. 24 hours. Ready to do 24 hours homework? Yes? 24 hours we do it, we can do it every day. We can do it every day. And whatever may be the emotion here, Every time I remind myself, I am creating it. I am creating it. I will heal it. I will change it. When we say, you hurt me, and then we say, now apologize, and we stand in front of them like this and say, sorry, Bolu, sorry, sorry. This. We're literally standing like this in front of people because we feel it's their behavior which will give me love and happiness. So from today, I am emotionally independent. Independent? This is true freedom. This is detachment. Detachment does not mean moving away from people. Detachment means being able to detach from the emotion of another person and to create a feeling of your choice. And when we are able to do that, we are able to unconditionally love and accept people, because we don't have conditions of how we want their behavior to be for us to feel good about them. That is unconditional love and acceptance can only come from emotional independence and detachment. If we are attached to their emotions, then if they get disturbed, we get disturbed. And the more they get disturbed, the more we get disturbed. So emotional independence means spiritual detachment. And when there's detachment and there's no disturbance here, then it's contentment. And when there's contentment, I'm giving always. Giving, giving, and giving to everyone. Let's sit 1 minute in silence and visualize these next 24 hours. Look at every scene of it. That being in the center of the forehead. I, the energy. I, the master, creator of every thought, feeling. I am the creator. Look at any situation, any person whom we held responsible for how we were feeling. Look at them. They are outside. It's only a stimulus. I am the creator. I am a powerful being. I have the power to create a pure and loveful thought, irrespective of what they have done. I have the power to create a peaceful, respectful thought, irrespective of the crisis outside. I am a powerful being. God's purity and blessings is my circle of protection. I'm protected. Everything of the past, I release. And today I choose to accept them as they are. I am a powerful being. I am stable always, always, always. Om Shanti. We stay in this silence. Just silence, and keep checking everything, what all I have to clean, what I have to clear, and where I have to take charge back. Just be in silence. Om Shanti.
Wow. I would say this is an incredible experience that all of us here are sharing together. Would you say that? I mean, this room right now, this hall, is filled with people from all over the world who have been drawn here to the wisdom of ancient Bharat. We've witnessed technology used in a spiritual, theological way, expressing the soul and our condition and how we can transition. We've heard from people from different continents and also from our sister Shivani. And I'm pulled to ask if Sister Asha, our Didi, Asha, would you mind coming on the stage? And I just know that she would be able to give some wonderful insights that I can't really articulate at the moment, but I know I feel it in the room. And we're just beginning this journey together. And I certainly hope you can continue with us for tomorrow. So please welcome Asha Didi.
Shanti. How do you feel now? Rich evening. Spiritually elevating. Empowering, enlightening. How nice it would be if it becomes our daily life. Would you like it? Or you think it will be boring? Would you like it? Yes. Beautiful things which are essential for our life have come up in this session. One, it is so essential to know the self, who I am. The simple question, who am I, has been puzzling the world, the philosophers, the scientists. But experience says, I'm not this body. I'm a spiritual being in this body. I'm the master. Master of all that happens to me. All that is around me. Stable mind is only possible when we get seated on this seat that I am the master. I was thinking how all these beautiful things can be translated into our lives. And one thought that occurred. It is just if I have love for the self. If I have love for the self, I'll put all those things, I will do all those things which I consider lovely, empowering. No one likes a scar on the face. Similarly, if there's a scar on the soul, will I like it? All of you said, we don't want anger. We don't want jealousy. What do we want? We want peace. We want happiness. We want love. And this is possible. But then one more important thing is, I have no strength presently. From where do I get the strength? What Brother Ken said, it is by connecting the self with the Supreme. Supreme, who we call God. But then God is not some entity far beyond our reach whom we cannot approach. No, one important thing that he has highlighted, and I feel that needs to be underlined, is that we have to develop that deep relationship with God. Merely praying, worshipping will not do. He's a father. We are his children. And when this deep relationship is developed, all those beautiful things that we want in our lives, we become the inheritors of it. We have a right over our Father. But then it comes through remembering him. Remembering him. And that is all what meditation is about. Instead of calling it meditation, I would like to make use of the word Raj Yoga. Raja means the sovereign, and yoga means the connection. The supreme relationship and connection with the Supreme. That is Raj Yoga. And you find God is God for everyone. Supreme Father is the Supreme Father of all souls, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, nationality, and so on. Sometimes people ask who these Brahma Kumaris are. In simple words, Brahma Kumaris are the messengers of God. Not simply giving the message, but living the message. Practically living that life. This is what you can see in this auditorium today. Although personally we do not know each other, but it is this beautiful spiritual bond that brings us together. One God, one world family. One God, one world family. Universal brotherhood of man and fatherhood of God. If this can be done in 137 countries, why not everywhere? Give it a thought. The world is in transition. It is said there are three kinds of people. One, those who lead change. Second, those who observe people changing. And third, those who suddenly at the end wake up and say, oh, everything has changed. So in which category would you like to be? First one, second one, or the third one? First one? Those of you who want to be in the first one? First one? Then, how this change has to begin? It has to begin with the self. From the session today, before we leave this auditorium, let us give ourselves a thought. What am I taking today from here? The speeches were good, the program was good, it was good. But how good it was for me personally. What am I carrying with me? What will I start doing to contribute to the change? Okay. Tomorrow, we will have another beautiful session. The future vision. How we want our world to be. That will be in the morning. Daytime, we'll have cultural performances. And in the evening again, our contribution towards a world in transition. Thank you very much for being with us. And I'm sure everyone will return inspired, peaceful, and empowered. Thank you.
Well, before we go back out onto the freeways and highways and streets out there, what do you say we just close the evening with a final meditation? How does that sound? Yes? Okay, thank you. And I would like to invite Sister Sudha from Russia. Sister Sudha, please join us. She is a wonderful instrument. Not only has she served India, but she is the director of the Brahma Kumaris in Moscow, and she's also the chairperson of Council of Trustees of the Brahma Kumaris centers in the territory of Russia and many other neighboring countries. She has been, I guess it's been 20 years. Has it been 20 years in Russian service in Russia? 25? Boy, time flies. Because I remember the first busload of students that came from Russia many years ago, and I was quite impressed how simple and sweet they were at that time, and of course still are. But I would like to name these cities that she has been instrumental in opening, or countries: Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Kazakhstan, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. Oh goodness, I can't pronounce this one. Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. Did you know that was even there? And of course, Mongolia. So she's going to guide us in a meditation to conclude this program, and may we carry this experience with us till we meet again. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Elizabeth, and thanks to all of you for, for your patient sitting here, observing, listening, benefiting, and also with your presence creating that positive energy here. I can also guess that there was a lot to be absorbed, but still maybe for just a couple of minutes I would like all of you to sit once again relaxed but alert. Let both your feet be on the ground, your backbone straight. And see that your shoulders, your neck, your every part of the body is relaxed. You have heard a lot about stable mind. You also heard that the most stable being, is our own Supreme Father. The most beloved Father. He is remembered as Sat Chit Anand. Always in a state of bliss. Always peaceful. Always loveful. And that most beloved Father says, my dear children, just give your mind to me. I don't want anything else from you. Just your mind. That is, think that what I say. And what I say is what you are. Deeply think, I am a soul. A divine star. Pure and peaceful. Look at yourself in the mirror of knowledge is shining, sparkling, beautiful, tiny star. A star of peace, radiating peace. This peace is spreading all around to every cell of your body and in the atmosphere. O star of peace, you are my child. I always remember you. You are my most beloved child. My canopy of protection is always over you. Just feel it. Just be under this canopy. Feel this light and might, love and joy of being under this canopy. And there is a lovely feeling that not only your mind is calm and stable, but everything around you has become stable. God's love reaches the soul. And the soul feels empowered. and a voice comes from the heart. I am a powerful soul, the child of Almighty. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. That was a lovely journey that we took together. So that concludes this evening's program. And so today we designed it to be a more subtle, still experience, to find that stability within us. And tomorrow we'll embark on a journey to envision, to create a new vision. And so we'll have a more interactive day tomorrow morning. And so we certainly hope that you'll join us tomorrow at 10 so that we can create together this vision. It's something that we would do together. And I also want to thank our brother David Kilowaski for his wonderful music. He's also a songwriter. He's quite an accomplished musician, but above all, he's a magnificent artist. And he loves to create a meditative environment with his art and music. So those of you who'd like to learn more about the Brahma Kumaris, we have information out there in the foyer. And also, please, you're most welcome to ask any of us any questions. We have some of the foreigners are out there and are available to you to ask a question or perhaps share your experience. So thank you again very much for coming. Om Shanti.
I'm sure that you will all go outside